Guys, I'm gonna tell you, the amount of mental gymnastics going on from the left in the wake of what's been going on, regarding these Asian hate crimes, regarding these mass shootings, it's really, really crazy, right? It's really ridiculous. And at this point, guys, it is truly pathetic, okay? Because the left wants their narrative to be true so bad, and they will twist reality in whatever way that they see fit in order to make that happen. Okay, that's literally what we're witnessing right here, guys. And one of the mental gymnastic tricks that we see all the time, or that we're starting to see, is calling black conservatives white supremacists, even though on its face that literally makes absolutely no sense. You would literally have to believe that as a black person, you want to live in a society of white supremacists. You want to be controlled by white supremacy, or that you endorse white supremacy. As a black person, why would I endorse that? Right? But see, they know that a lot of black conservatives expose what the real truth is, right, in regards to the left's agenda, and they don't like that. They don't like that. So they have to make this rationalization in their head that these people can't be white supremacists, so they must be black white supremacists, right? Because they're obviously not white, okay, but they're conservative. So they see that as an oxymoron. So they're like, you know what? No, they're black white supremacists. That's how they justify it in their head. And apparently, some Democrats, right, that are running for Congress and that want to be a part of our political system believe this. Now, I'm not saying all of them do, but there was a Democrat that sent an image of a KKK hood to Candace Owens on Twitter, right? Because Candace Owens, once again, was just spitting facts. Just spitting facts, straight facts, guys. So let's take a look at what happened here. Failed Democratic candidate William O'Mara sent an image of a Klansman hood via Twitter to Daily Wire host Candace Owens, a black woman. When the hood image was reported to Twitter, the tech platform said the image did not violate their rules. Huge problem, right? Because Twitter has been talking about how they're against hate speech, but apparently you can tweet a Klan hoodie at a black woman to imply that she's some type of Klansman, right? And that's okay. And again, I'm not even for censoring. I just think that if you're going to censor, then you have to do it equally. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of how these platforms don't censor the extremists equally. They don't, right? After Twitter kept the post up and O'Mara defended his tweeting, Owens announced her intention to file a police report against the Democrat, noting that she's done with you racist Democrats. O'Mara's tweet came in response to a post from Owens criticizing left-wing activist groups. Quote, the number one violent offenders against black people are other black people. The number one violent offenders against Asian Americans are also black people, Owens posted on Monday. Quote, but both Black Lives Matter and Asian Lives Matter are campaigns dedicated to stomping out white supremacy because clown world. Okay, guys. So Candace Owens literally just spoke a fact, right? A straight up fact. Okay? Because according to the Department of Justice here, right? This is Department of Justice statistics, not mine. And this is from 2018. The number one offenders of violent crime against black people are black people. I think it's like 70%. The number one offenders of violent crimes against Asian people are black people. It's like 27 to 28%. I think it's like 27.5% to be exact. These are just facts. There's nothing racist about it. There's no narrative behind it. These are just facts. Okay? And Candace Owens was just stating those facts. And a lot of people, right, were in her comment section like, oh, where did you get this statistic from? Where did you pull this from? This is fake. This is made up. When it comes from the Department of Justice. Okay? We don't play with fake facts here. We play with real facts. Okay? Again, that was funny to me because I actually watched that in real time. How, again, all the leftists had to bend over backwards in Candace Owens' comment section once they found out that oh, snap, she actually has information from a real source that is backed up by the government. Okay? They didn't like that. Again, mental gymnastics. And then also the mental gymnastics that they do when it comes to the whole blank lives matter thing, right? Because the people on the right have been saying all lives matter for a long time. Now all of a sudden, there's Black Lives Matter, there's Asian Lives Matter, there's Hispanic Lives Matter. I mean, at some point, right, they're going to just get to all lives matter, right? It's going to come back to what the right was originally saying from the get-go. All lives matter, right? But see, the agenda is to minimize white lives. That's the agenda. And I wish that it wasn't that way because, again, you're never going to win anybody over with that type of rhetoric, right? In my opinion, that rhetoric sounds like extremist rhetoric, okay? It's just funny how this stuff works. So O'Mara basically quote tweeted this and put a photo of a KKK hood saying, yikes, you may have dropped this. Obviously, Candace Owens went off, right, and tried to go to Twitter about it and basically complained. She was like, quote, for everyone that is suing Twitter for clear-cut bias, they have written to me to let me know that sending a Klansman hood to black people does not violate any of their rules. Owens posted captioning a screenshot of Twitter's message and Omar's tweet. Quote, racism okay on this platform. Thanks, Twitter safety. Owens add. She's 100% right. Because like I told you guys, you know, there is an argument to be made that, okay, well, you know, these private platforms can, you know, do what they want. They can allow whatever speech they want on the platform, right? And I would tend to agree with that if they actually did this on equal footing, right? Because if your statement is about extreme speech, then you have to make it about extreme speech on both sides of the aisle. They tend to allow extreme speech on the left, right? And things like this. But apparently a Trump tweet is the worst thing in the world and that we're in imminent danger because of something that the president of the United States had tweeted. But you have, again, Democratic candidates out here sending Klan hoodies and implying that a black woman is a part of the KKK, which, again, makes no sense whatsoever, right? They can get away with that. Perfectly fine, right? I think that to me, is just a prime example of the hypocrisy that we see in terms of how these social platforms are policing this stuff, okay? You either can allow everything or you police both sides equally. That's the way it has to be. So Candace Owens said that she is, reporting this and, going to the police about it, which, that's neither here nor there for me because at the end of the day, I do think he has a right to freedom of speech. I just think it's more about the platform not properly policing that, right? Considering how they're supposed to be policing hate speech, right? And things of that nature. I think it's more about that. I really don't necessarily think that he should, be arrested for tweeting something like that or face criminal charges for something like that. I think that's a little bit too far, but I get where she's coming from. Now, another example of the mental gymnastics, right? That, guys, I really almost predicted this, to be quite honest, is this idea that that Arabs are now white, okay? And I literally tweeted this before I saw this tweet. I said, the mental gymnastics that the left is going to jump through to try to be right about the Colorado incident, because it's to them, it's more about being right. It's not about mourning the lives of those who were lost or actually caring about why it happened. They don't care about that. What they really care about is just being right. What I said is that the mental gymnastics trick that they're going to do is that they're going to say, well, technically Arabs are Caucasian, so therefore we're still right. This is still an example of white supremacy. And then lo and behold, Tariq Nasheed tweets, white supremacists are trying their hardest to deflect from the fact that the bolder suspect is white. Syrians and Americans are legally, politically, and socially white. Their white status is well documented in court cases. Terms like Muslim, Arab, Islamic does not change whiteness. Wow. That's very, very, very interesting because according to this same logic, all these people on the left, since Arabs are white, they should be in support of the Iraq War. They should be in support of invading the Middle East. They should be in support of all the things that they traditionally say they're against because, they have a fight against white supremacy. So now apparently Arabs are a part of white supremacy, even though we all know that Muslims are culturally different. How many white Americans are Muslim, right? Islam, a lot of people don't understand Islam is not just a religion. It is actually a culture and a political ideology at the same time. There's not a lot of white Americans that are Islamic. Most of them, or a lot of them, are Christian, right? They're Christian. Those are two different things. And to me, this tweet shows that Tariq Nasheed is so ignorant of not only Arab culture or Muslim culture. He's just going out of his way to try to be right. He cares more about being right than actually just being like, you know what, I was wrong. This was something different, and that I shouldn't have jumped the gun, right? Instead of just calling it what it is, and admitting to making a mistake, right, for jumping the gun and stereotyping, he doubles down. He does the mental gymnastic trick and try to pull, a genealogy card here, right, to try to say, well, technically Arabs are Caucasian, right? They're inherently white. Genetically, they're white, even though, again, culturally, again, Islam, and that's a whole different thing, right? You're not going to find a lot of Muslims that act like American whites. You're just not going to find it. But they got to jump. They got to jump through hoops to try to make their narrative fit rather than just tell it like it is. Okay? So, guys, the amount of mental gymnastics that's going on right now from, the people on the left in regards to what's going on right now in America is really pathetic. It really is. It really is. And it just shows you how desperate these people are to be right. How desperate they are to push their narrative. Even despite when the facts don't fit. The perfect response to this, Matt Walsh responded to this and said, okay, well, technically, since Arabs are now white, then that means Jesus was white. Case closed. Because they try to argue that Jesus wasn't white now, right? Jesus was Middle Eastern, so he wasn't white. So now you got to admit that Jesus actually was white because Arabs are now white, according to these guys. And it's funny how you could just turn their own arguments back on them, okay? And it's just hilarious to watch that happen in real time. But again, guys, this is just another example of the mental gymnastics from the left. It's really sad to see that, these people are more concerned about, their narrative rather than, actually solving problems and actually talking about real issues in a way that's substantive without trying to divide the nation. But, this is America, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.